My thoughts are that when it comes down to, I mean, we were talking about your experiences at school, and I've come through so this situation with many other people I've interviewed is that their their memories from schools aren't the best. What are your thoughts regarding kids and how they're coming out of school, and how schools and universities, and how prepared or unprepared are they for the real world society?
Well, I can only make a generalistic comment because there are major exceptions, and I've been into some education environments that are just mind blowing, that it make you cry and think, God, I wish I could go back to my childhood. This is just so incredible now. And particularly the FE sector that I'm in, when I go into some of these colleges, I think this is incredible. If businesses went into these colleges and saw the way they were now, they would want to work together with them. So I make a generalistic comment. If here I want to provide some negative commentary, I suppose, about some things that can be improved. So schools have to, I talked about being open, random and supportive. Children now, sadly or inevitably, expect a different relationship with their teacher. They're online, they can talk to anybody. They can tweet celebrities, they have a conversation going. And we want to say, respect your elders and do as I say, and etc. But children they don't want to live in that world anymore, rightly or wrongly. So unfortunately, the respect between the teacher and the student has broken down. And we hear how hard teachers are finding it to teach crowd control children in classroom. So you have to say, well, where does the fault lie? Does the fault lie with children at home and not being taught respect, or does it lie within the school? Now, I don't know where the fault lies, and I'm not here to point accusing fingers, but unfortunately, the solution has to lie within the educational institutions to adapt, because we can't get to every parent, and we can't change the fact that so many parents are working now and they're exhausted when they get home, and their children are latchkey kids, and that the kids spend too much time on the internet. These are conditions we can't change.
Yep.
So the only way we can change is for the education environments to start adapting to the way that children now want to be treated. And children at a very young age want to feel empowered themselves to make choices. So there are some, and if they switch off, they switch off. They just switch off. I was at my son's parents' evening last night. Now, my kids have been privileged with their education. My husband and I have literally killed ourselves to be able to afford to send our children to the schools they've gone to. And we haven't chosen posh schools. We've chosen nice schools in an area where we know there'll be small class sizes and things. And out of all the teachers I met last night, there was one teacher that I thought, there's no way TJ is going to be able to learn from that teacher. He is such a command and control teacher that's just giving data and expecting not to have to inspire, just saying, I'm telling you this, you need to learn it. And it was so obvious. So I then looked at his mock results, and his worst mock result was this teacher that I'd just met. Whereas the other teachers, you could sense that there was this partnership formed between the two, and an agreement between the two, and they knew that they had to inspire children and allow children to ask the why question. So teachers are under a lot of pressure, and they have to change the culture of teaching in those environments. And it is happening. I mean, you may have heard of studio schools that are being formed. Hackney College have got one, for example, that starts at 14. So kids that are not thriving in an academic environment, in the traditional school environments, can now choose at 14 a vocational route. So can start at 14 thinking, I'm only interested in technology, I'm only interested in this, and start at 14 trimming down their choices, which we don't tend to do that until we go to university in a traditional thing. So I think education is shifting, and I think your question is right, and it would be wrong of us to not realise that the educational system is aware of it as well. We're not the wise ones sitting on the outside. They know, government knows, they all know that we're having to go through a shift, but it's very hard to change curriculum, change education, this is a hard journey to go on.